The first stage of the 3 month training camp was to get big, as we say. So we ballooned up some, and now it's just been a general descent down these last couple months, and getting into the heavy MMA training, and it's been fun. I haven't ever done something like that before. I've much more been just focused on my game, and it's been nice, and my body feels real good for everything that's been going through here recently.
The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. 2021 and 2022, I noticed that you did not compete in MMA at all. And of course, the pandemic was going on, but shows started to kick into gear towards the end of 2020. How were those years for you not competing?
It wasn't for a lack of trying. I'll tell you that. I had 4 or 5 fights lined up to compete. I went four of them. Four of them I went all the way down to the week before the fight, and then they were canceled due to COVID complications. So it was a really hard year. It was definitely, I just kept telling myself, the higher power above is just testing me. How bad do I want this thing? And I just firmly believed once that I got my shot, that I would be able to get in there and prove myself and provide a good performance, that would boost me up.
How far did the frustrations go for you during that time? Because you said you got up to a week before the fight. That means you went through training camp after training camp after training camp without being able to compete. That's heartbreaking for a fighter. You know what I mean? For regular people, they don't understand, but for a fighter, that's heartbreaking.
It got to the point where we don't even talk about the fight. You don't say it out aloud in the gym. It felt jinxed. There was, Daniel Cormier kind of hounded me about this when he said you were kind of contemplating, retirement. I was like, no, it wasn't that I was contemplating retirement, because the only thing that really gets me up out of bed every day and kind of completes me is going and training. It was I didn't know if I was gonna have a fight or not. Just didn't know if the cards are gonna play out in my favor or not, and that's just kind of where I got to, is that kind of dark place. We didn't talk about it. It was just always, wait, we can talk about it the second I walk through the cage door and they lock that thing. So that's where we were at.
When you returned in February of 2022 and got that 43-second finish, what was the emotions like instantly after that?
Oh, I mean, Alan Jobin, comes in and says, you just shocked the world. And in the back of my mind, I'm just like, what, shock the world? What are you talking about? Like, this is what I prepared. This is 2 years, 3 years of frustration built up coming in here for, this moment. I was ready to let it out, and in the back before the walkout, we're kind of sitting there, and they have it reversed, right? You can't really see the screen. It's in reverse. And I look up, I was like, there's no way that says I'm a 6-1 underdog. And my coach goes, yeah, you're a 6-1 underdog. And I was like, no freaking way. And so just walking out there with that, it's like, come on, you got to put some respect on my name. I'm not no slouch, and so to go in there and then to get that, it was just, I was definitely hyped up, but at the same time, I just wanted to be like, I told you so.
You definitely did. And do you ever look at the odds before a fight?
I honestly, that was the moment I realized, like, oh, okay, I'm there. I'm finally made it to a spot now where people are going to be betting on me. I had no idea, that was going to be going on. Otherwise, I might have thrown some money on myself.
Now you can't, right? Now you
Now I
can't with all
can't.
this.
I get here, now I can't.
Yeah. Let's talk about this upcoming fight, man. February 4th. You found out about the fight in October. It seems like a lot of the people that are competing on this card, they found out about the fight way ahead of time. That gives you a lot of time to prepare. Did you opt for a long training camp, or did you take another approach?
I was waiting in the wings, waiting for the next fight. I would have loved something a little sooner, but when this one presented itself, There was no way I was going to turn away. There was nothing foreseeable in the future, so I just said, yeah, let's do it. You guys asked me to fight on 9 days' notice, and let's see what I can do in like 3 months. So that I've definitely put the weight and pressure on myself to go in there and in these 3 months and to really provide something that I think the fans are gonna like when I get in there. So
You're fighting out of Art of War MMA. Could you break down the coaches, the coaching staff, and the teammates out there that are vital for you?
so yeah, my head coach is Jason Georgiana. He was a professional, regional professional. Opened up his own gym in 2000. I want to say 2008. And my Muay Thai coach is Cobb Tongsai, longtime Muay Thai coach. He's helped me through my amateur years. I did 3 years of amateur Muay Thai, and we fought all the way up and down the West Coast and over into the Midwest a little bit. I also have another Muay Thai teammate that's going to be in my corner, Josh Atkins. He's based out of Sacramento, but he's been very vital to my Muay Thai success as well. And all three of these guys have been with me in film study and game planning and just trying to come up with the right strategy. And then yeah, as far as teammates go, I've been training with Lucas Barbosa and Brent Primus, as well as some amateur guys. Morgan Fegan, shout out to him. He's been kind of my drilling partner for the whole thing. Coming in, he doesn't have a fight, but he shows up every day and just to learn and to absorb as much knowledge as he can. So I really appreciate that. And then yeah, so those are kind of my coaches. They've been with me from the start. We're very familiar. I've always wanted to kind of pave that what I call the Oregon Trail to the big show. Nobody's done it really since Evan Dunham has, and so I wanted to do that, and wanted to take my coaches and my teammates with me, kind of. And my other most accomplished teammate, Chris San Jose, he was very, very close to doing the same thing. He actually was in the running to be one of the finalists for the last Ultimate Fighter show, I believe, and then was eventually cut, but which was unfortunate. But we've just been trying to blaze that Oregon Trail, man.
There you go. And I saw that you're an assistant coach at Art of War. How has that benefited you as a fighter?
It's I feel like it's benefited me a lot. I believe you have to remain a student of this sport 100%. And you know when you become a coach, you have to be able to you know analyze, sit down, analyze film, watch, study. um, if you just rest on what you know and just teaching that, like, there's not going to be any growth. So that's really provided me the next step of my journey, because I've always been a student, and I want to continue to be a student. But through that now, it's like um, my journey has taken me into coaching. So not only do I get to provide technique and game plan and strategy for my amateur fighters or my students, I also get to help them develop their game, and it's definitely helped me, you know, identify um, different ways of learning for sure.
Is all your work done at Art of War, or do you have other spots outside of the gym that you go to train?
Oh, for sure. So Lucas Barbosa is over at Atos Northwest. I go over there occasionally, and then I've been working with a PT, Tyler Tanaka, out of Convergence Sports Physical Therapy. Yeah, Convergence Physical Therapy, and he's just starting up Sports Performance, I believe. So I've been working with him since March, and he's been doing all my strength and conditioning, and just helping me put on some more muscle as well as some more strength, and helping me with my agility over there as well.
Speaking of strength and muscle, I heard you blew up to 210 pounds to add muscle. Talk about that process.
Yeah, we had such a long time, and as fighters, I feel like we get caught up too much, and I definitely am and somebody that's done this, I get caught up in too much and just focusing on my sport. And I went to the PI, and those guys, if I would have went in there and everything was perfect, then I've been asking questions like, well, what's my growth really here? How far can I take this thing? And so I went there, and basically for 3 4 days straight, all they did was tell me where I could improve, and there was a lot of areas, and I could take that personally and be upset by that, or I could find the silver lining in it, and that's I feel like I have a lot more room for growth, a lot more ways to develop. So I brought that back with me, and me and my PT, my guy helped me. We looked it over, and we identified the areas we wanted to improve in. That was putting on some muscle mass, getting a little stronger, and being able to move a little bit more fluidly. So the first stage of the 3 month training camp was to get big, as we say. So we ballooned up some, and now it's just been a general descent down these last couple months, and getting into the heavy MMA training, and it's been it's been fun. I haven't ever done something like that before. I've much more been just focused on my game, and it's been nice, and my body feels real good for everything that's been going through here recently.
For sure. Now let's talk about the opponent, Yusaku Kinoshita. He's making his UFC debut against you. How do you see the matchup and the fighting style he possesses?
For sure, he may be making his debut, but he's fought on the Contender Series, so I give him a nod there. For already having some experience. I don't think it's going to be anything new for him. Um, he's very confident in his striking. Very, he's got that Kyokushin kind of style where he's in and out. Very, he looks to be kind of a counter striker. 22-year-old, he's got all the potential in the world for sure. But I don't have a contract after this fight, so I need to go in there and prove I belong there, and really put on a show and go after that next contract. Otherwise, the gatekeeper is probably on his way out. But so yeah, I'm gonna get in there, and my game plan is to make him fight at my range, my pace, and my space. And if he wants to kind of abuse that a little bit too much, he might find himself getting tied up and taken down. And I'm just as confident in wrestling and in jiu-jitsu. And I like to think of myself as that melting pot of mixed martial arts.
You say you don't have a contract after this fight. That means you only signed a 2-fight deal?
There was no deal signed. He spent a
Oh,
9-day notice, and then, hey, you did really well in a 9-day notice. Let's give this guy another shot.
wow, wow. That's very peculiar. You don't really hear that too often with the UFC. Maybe that's the new strategy that they're putting out. Who knows? But hey, you're getting another shot, which is great. The fight night card, right? That you're on in the Apex. You fought on a pay-per-view card in your
Yeah,
debut. So you're probably like, yeah, let me get in front of a crowd again. They said they're going to go to Korea. There's going to be a crowd there. Are you disappointed, or are you more relieved that you don't have to fly across the world?
I'm relieved to not have to try to battle any of that jet lag. That being said, I really was looking forward to stepping in there against my opponent in South Korea, getting to experience South Korean culture and how the fans are, and just that whole atmosphere. I was really looking forward to that. And in Dallas, again, a pay-per-view card in front of people and the fans and everything. That was amazing. I definitely wanted that feeling again. And so I'm a little bit robbed of that, sort of going to the Apex, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's a fight. And I'm excited to hop in there and again, perform in the UFC stage.
Are you looking forward to being in the environment where you can hear everything? And like I feel like for some fighters it can be a good stepping stone to the pay-per you're kind of doing it in reverse, right? But you had
Right.
9 days notice, man, in your debut. that's
Yeah,
that's that's a hell of a task.
for sure. Um, I don't know. I'm usually locked in and zoned in, and only focus on my opponent, and can usually only hear my coaches. So I'm just gonna go with that, and we'll see how it plays out. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's a fight, and I don't think anything outside of the octagon is going to really just take away from that.
Going through a fight week, like, what were some of the lessons learned? You talk to fighters. I talk to fighters all the time and ask
Hmm.
them about that, their first UFC fight week. Some of them are doing it at the UFC PI at the
Hmm.
Apex, right, which is not too hectic, but pay-per-view fight weeks, kinda hectic. What did
Yeah,
you learn from going through that process?
it was really enjoyable. For me, there was just I don't know. I just felt like that's kind of the environment that I belong in. That's the environment I've been looking for. Everybody was, buzzing around. You had UFC people left and right, and the interviews, sure there was a few of them, but I don't feel like at least I'm not at that point where they're getting in my way too much. I was still able to get down, get my work in, break a sweat, keep my mind focused. But yeah, I really enjoyed that process. And for any new fighters coming in there, just definitely take advantage of the staff on hand, like the PI or the nutritionist, and take advantage of that stuff. That's what they're there for, and you know, um, is definitely a pleasant experience the first go around.
There you go, man. You get another shot. You're going for your first UFC victory. How do you want to perform? How do you want to earn this win?
I've been saying on all these that I want to get the KO, and that's definitely you know that's what I want to do. But more or less, I want to get the finish. I want to be an entertaining fighter. I want to be a fighter that the fans see and say, yeah, if this guy's coming in here, it's going to be an entertaining fight, and they look forward to seeing me perform. So wherever the fight goes, really, if it's on its feet, if it ends up on the ground, I want to look for the finish. No disrespect to my opponent, but we all want to be finishers in this in in this sport, and I guess you can call me cliche for that, but I want the finish.
When you say no disrespect, that's the martial artist side of you coming out, right? Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's very disrespectful to go in there and beat the hell out of somebody.
Yes. Yeah. You could be correct about that. Yeah. But we both signed up for the same thing. We know what we're getting in there for. I know he's trying to take my head off, and
February 4th, UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. Go in the descriptions, download the AllStar app. Adam, thank you so much, man, for the time and all the best in this fight. It's an exciting, for real, exciting like clash of styles. Like I feel like you guys are gonna go for each other's heads, which fans want to see.
that's right. I think it makes for a potential fight of the night. So I'm just hoping that it goes that way for both of us.